Okay, y'all, so I just realized I did not film an intro for this video. So hey guys, it's Nisha Marie. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me. So today's video is get ready and come with me to my graduate celebration brunch. I'm gonna be having brunch at Nikki Beach with my family to celebrate me graduating with my master's. And so in this video I'm gonna be talking about just certain things I learned through my graduate program, about the program itself and also about myself, and just some of the trials and tribulations that I went through to get to this point. So if you are interested in seeing you know, what I have to say, also what else? Oh my gosh, my mind is like complete. I forgot how to do an intro. Oh yeah, and also like following me afterwards to come with me to brunch, then just keep watching. Thank you. Thank you. So I already prepped my skin. And sorry you guys about like the shadow. I'm working on my lighting, but this should be good enough. Okay, you can see all the melanin. You can see her. If you're interested in any of the products that I used, then I'll have it listed in the description box. GLAM CHATS. And I'm looking to the side because I have my notes here. So today's category is lessons learned. 5 lessons learned in graduate school. So I started my graduate school journey actually, how many years ago? I don't know, back in 2014 or 15, so however many years that was. So I started it, I did like 2 or 3 classes, like not that long, because eventually I decided it was getting pricey, and I don't know, I was just focused on other things, and so that had just kind of got put back on the back burner. And you know, I had just been kind of pursuing my creative career and working in human resources, which I got my master's in, and well, I eventually got my master's in. So I was doing that, and then I started working for a company, which one of their benefits is that they would pay for my education. So that was like a great opportunity I definitely wanted to take advantage of. So I did that. The first lesson that I learned while on this journey in grad school is time management is key. I know you hear that all the time, but it was like legit, time management is key, because the way that like my, I guess, semesters or terms worked is that they were 6 weeks long, and every single week you had like 1 to 2 discussion posts. You had assignments. In graduate school is a lot of research and writing, like a lot of research and writing. So I had to become good at time management. Did I master it? No, I'm never gonna front. I did not master it, but it's so key, because like with the amount of assignments and discussion posts and then working full time, like, you know, you have to like really be on point with that, or you'll be behind. And as for me, like I procrastinated a lot in doing my assignments. Not proud to say, but that's the reality. Like I procrastinated a lot. So but then procrastination would just leave me fucking stressed, like so stressed. So let's say on average, like your assignments could be anywhere between 3 to 10 pages. Like it's just based on the class, the assignment. So I figured that like the average was just like 4 to 6 page assignments. It took me about 6 hours to write. So I was like, okay, if I break it down where I commit like 2 hours a day for, you know, the week, that by the time, because okay, to give you some insight, like the way that it worked is like our new weeks started on Wednesday and ended Tuesday at midnight. And then we had discussion posts. The initial post was due by Tuesday, but all of our posts and our actual assignment for the unit for the week was due Tuesday by midnight. So I was like, if I commit to doing 2 hours a day towards school, whether it's reading or contributing to my paper, then that would really put me in a good space to really be pretty much done with my assignment by Tuesday. So so all I would be doing is like doing my edits and stuff like that. So I had to manage my time around that. And the weeks and the units that I did that, like, I was so much less stressed. I had more time to like do more research. I had more time to edit my paper. The university also had like a writing center that you could submit your papers to and have like one of their, you know, tutors, writing tutors, read your paper, and they could give you, you know, just some tips to strengthen your paper and your research. So the times where I actually did do good with my time management, I was able to do that. But when I was like procrastinating and just really writing my paper in a day or a day and a half, I didn't get to use that. So manage your time well, y'all. Like, try to create, like, find your flow, you know, your workflow, how long it takes you to read, break out your readings, how long your paper is. Kind of like time yourself, like how long it would take to write a paper for you, and then just split that between the days that you have to work with before your assignment is due. I'm not gonna lie to you, I turned in got my straw in here. I turned in a lot of, damn, should I be saying this? It's true though, I turned in a lot of like late assignments, and it sucks because a lot of my assignments is like, my original grade would be like an A, but then I would get late point penalties, and then at times, sometimes it would knock down my grade to a B, and I'm like, yeah, I passed, I got a good grade on it, but it's like I could have gotten an A. So be on point with your time management. I think that's simple enough. The second lesson that I learned in graduate school is that sacrifice is necessary, and it will happen. During the course of my program, I made a lot of sacrifices as far as like, you know, hanging out with family, because like my family, we have like movie nights and stuff like that. My family like get-togethers often, and I had to sacrifice sometimes hanging out with the family. I also had to sacrifice sleep. And I love sleep. There are times I didn't sacrifice sleep. Of course I paid for it, you know, because of procrastinating, and I had to like play catch up, but I had to sacrifice sleep. I had to sacrifice outings with friends. There was a lot of things that I had to sacrifice in order to, you know, do what I needed to do. And at times it wasn't easy. I had to sacrifice going on trips sometimes. It was a lot, and I kind of have like a lot on my plate that I do, because I was like trying to do content creation. Of course, I'm working my full-time job still, and I had those commitments and priorities. And then I was also got a little gigiana at Sephora, so I was working 2 jobs, and it was just a lot. It was a lot. But yeah, I just had to kind of sacrifice some fun in order to achieve this goal. And sometimes people will be mad at you. Sometimes you'll feel like you're missing out, but you're really not. Like, maybe temporarily, but again, it's like it's necessary, because once you hit your goal, you achieve your goal, it's just gonna be so worth it. But you're gonna have to be willing to sacrifice. So I would say, before you even start your journey, like, what are you willing to sacrifice in order to get to where you need to go? What are you willing to sacrifice? I think you have to sacrifice I think to achieve anything, you're gonna have to sacrifice certain things. Even sacrifice like your bad habits, sacrifice money. But you know, when you give a sacrifice onto something, you know, it's worth it. That's another level of discipline. And I just had to like remind myself too, like, this is temporary. Like, this isn't going to be like my whole life where my schedule is going to be like this. It's for this time being in this season. So be willing to sacrifice. So yeah, I think you guys get the point. And the next thing I learned, like within grad school, is, man, I had to learn how to stay consistent. Consistency is a word that we hear all the time, and it's not for no reason. I had to stay consistent. And staying consistent for me was actually like staying like engaged in my program. Throughout my program, I would take breaks between terms, like something would happen and I'll use that kind of as like an excuse. And I would just take a break for the semester. So I'd take the next 6 weeks off. And then depending on like when I decided to take the break off, sometimes it ended up having to be 2 terms, just because with the program they had like certain limitations on how many weeks you can take off if you're taking a leave from class, from school and stuff like that. And with me doing that so much, like it pushed me back a year. Like I would have been done with my classes last November. I would have been done with school last November. But again, because I took so much freaking time off, it pushed back my graduation date. And so at the start of this year, I was like, no more time off. Like, I am not gonna take any more time off. I'm gonna stay consistent week by week, going through these courses so that I could graduate this year. I'm like, I'm not gonna let another year pass and I don't wrap up my program. Like, I need to really buckle down. I have to make that sacrifice. Like, I can't play the game. Like, I can't, there's a game and it's like, I can't play it. Like, I can't cheat the game. Like, I can't cheat the hustle. I can't cheat the work that I need to do. And the more I prolong it, it's just gonna take up time, because like I wanted to, like, you know, dedicate more time to creating my content and just doing some other things that I have like on my list. But again, like with the time commitment needed for school, it was a lot trying to do everything. I could barely stay consistent on my social media platforms because I would just be so tired. But I was like, you know, I need to check this off my box. Like, I need to get it done. So at the start of this year, I committed to that. Funny enough, at the start of this year, I had like an emergency medical procedure that needed to be done. And I actually took time off from work. Like, I went on leave from work. And I was like, if I decided to take leave from school, it would have pushed my graduation to like next year, like February next year or something like that. And I'm like, nope, I don't want to do that. So I found out from my position, like, hey, you know, I know I'm taking time off of work, but I really don't want to take time off of school. My school, like, I didn't have to go into like a building for classes. Everything was online, fortunately. So I was like, is there any way that I could like still stay in school and, you know, like while during my recovery still do my schoolwork? And I thought it was like, you know, it's completely up to you. It could be done. But really, it was like up to my professor, like if for that unit, for that term rather, if they would be willing to work with me. Like, you know, so I reached out to my professor. I kind of let her know what my situation was and if I can like get an incomplete grade for the course. And, you know, I just work on the assignments and I have like a basically like a deadline to get all my assignments in and graded. Unfortunately, and I'm so thankful for the professor saying yes, you know, she's willing to work with me. My camera just turned off. The next lesson I learned is it's really good to, and it kind of stems from like this situation that I went through as far as like having my surgery and needing time to heal, didn't want to withdraw from classes, and you know, just communicating with your professor. Like talk to your professors, go to office hours. I mean, yeah, life situations, yeah, you know, you want to communicate, but also just in general, like, you know, about the curriculum. I didn't go to like every single one of my classes, like all of my professors' office hours, but if I was kind of not really clear on an assignment, if I was kind of like lost on a subject, I would go to their office hours, communicate with them. And sometimes when your professors kind of see you making that effort, they're just more willing to like work with you and support you because they see the effort being put in on your end. So make the time to go to office hours. That's just like one other lesson. Another lesson that I learned, I'm kind of going through this kind of fast and I'm like, damn, am I gonna be done with my makeup before I do that? This is my first time using like this powder puff thing, and I hope it, I usually use my beauty blender. Oh yeah, my next lesson and tip is like, you know, group projects. Everybody hates group projects. I hate group projects because I hate when part of my grade is like reliant on someone else. Like, I don't like that. But fortunately, throughout my program, for the most part, I was partnered with some really great people to work on projects with. So fortunately, I didn't have too many issues with people not really doing their part. But I think a really good lesson is to like manage and set expectations when working with group members, in terms of, hey, we're gonna meet this day, like can we meet this day to like review assignment details, and then assign, based on the assignment, like assign different portions to one another, just so that, again, we are on the same page as far as like expectations on when shit is due. Like when, you know, the part that we are responsible for is due. I think it's so good to like manage expectations. Yeah, because the reality is, as much as I hate group projects, I understand that like in the real world, given like my program, I'm gonna have to work with people on different projects. I'm gonna have to, oh, I don't like how that look. Wait a minute. I think I went a little bit too low on that. It should be higher. Lord Jesus. Hopefully these tips I'm giving y'all is like useful, a good reminder, makes sense. But yeah. So yeah, oh my gosh, I feel like maybe I should have made a longer list, but those were like the top 5 things that really like came to mind. Let me know down below in the comment box like which tip resonated with you the most. I think the biggest one for me was that staying consistent part, because I feel like that part is going to, like the principle, the discipline of being consistent is going to be relevant to all arenas in my life, even like creating my content on YouTube. Because like my biggest thing is like, oh, I'm tired from school and work, you know, creating my content. So now that that goal has been achieved, you know, I really have more time to put focus into my creativity and the things that I'm wanting to do. So it's like no more excuses. It's just trying to execute and consistently do that, and not like start and stop. Because again, like the starting and stopping, wow, I look really powdery. Hold up, I need to get my like my elixir. I need to like refresh before I go in with more powder. 1 second, I don't have my spray down here. Let me actually put on my brows real quick, and I brought y'all in a little closer. Like I pushed myself so much this year, like honestly, it's amazing like how things that you're doing, like, yeah, it's like the achievement of that goal, but really it's like the things you learn about yourself during that process. Like, I learned so much about myself. One of it is like, I knew I loved sleep, but it's like, man, I really like, I already love sleep. And I'm like, whoa, sleep is one of those things I'm gonna have to like sacrifice my love for sleep. Now, I'm not like a, oh, never sleep, I'll sleep when I'm dead type of energy. Work till I'm like exhausted. Like, I give myself grace enough to like rest, because your body needs it. Like, without, like, lack of sleep could really affect you in a negative way. Like, yeah, there's gonna be times you're gonna be working long hours, but at least for me, I don't want to really make that like a lifestyle. I want to make working smart, working hard, as far as like who I am and how I show up for the things that I'm doing. But I am a big proponent of like managing stress. And so kind of how like I would do certain things, like I would treat myself. So there are certain times where like in the 6-week program where like, so you do the courses for the 6 weeks, and then you have like a week break before the next course start. And then other times where you're literally like the course ended Tuesday midnight and then your new course started that next Wednesday. So in the weeks where it was like I had the week off before I started my next class, like I really took advantage of that. Like, I'll go get a massage, I'll take that weekend to like go to the beach or relax or sleep and really rest, and just kind of have that as like a treat for myself during that time. I had a lot of pressure too during my program, because with the scholarship that I got from my employer, you have to maintain a 3.0 each term, not cumulative GPA for that term. And I typically, it's only this last term that I took 2 classes, but that's because I was pushing myself, and I'll tell you why a little bit later. But I take one course at a time. So and you have 2 chances to get less than you have 2 chances to get less than a 3.0 for the term, and then after the second, basically C or lower, you lose your scholarship. And I was at jeopardy of losing one of my scholarships because, I mean, not one of my losing my scholarship, because so one term I was just like, I did so poorly. Like, I was so behind on so many assignments. I'm not even gonna hold you like I was just a perfect student, because I wasn't. I was behind on so many assignments, and I was like, I am not gonna pass this class. I am just not gonna pass this class. So initially I thought, like, I knew like the stipulations with the scholarship, but initially I was thinking that it was cumulative GPA. So I was like, well, my GPA like a 3.8 now, so whatever, if I drop this course, I'm like, or whatever, fuck it, you know, I'll be above a 3.0 still, so I'll be fine and I'll just take it over. But no, girl. So I lost it, and then I got a notification of like my GPA, and then I got a reread of like the policy, and I was like, oh, I realized that it was per term. So because I already kind of sacrificed the term, basically, it's like, if I get anything less than a B for the remainder of the program, mind you, I wasn't even like halfway through the program yet. If I get anything less than a B next go around, I will lose my scholarship. So it was very, oh man, I feel like this is because I'm talking, but this brow is not looking right. Hold on, let me finish my brow. Okay, my brows kind of look like distant cousins, but it'll work. I'll touch it up after. So, oh, I hate when I do that. I don't remember what I was saying. What was I saying before? I think this was what I was saying. So before the semester, no, what the hell? What was I gonna say? Well, basically, so throughout like the rest of my program, I was just super stressed, especially like when I was just feeling like overwhelmed, and you know, sometimes I'll be behind on assignments. Luckily, I was able to like turn some in late. Of course, late point penalty deductions and stuff like that, but sometimes I would be feeling so overwhelmed, just so overwhelmed, and it's like I would like have anxiety, and you know, I had to like stop myself from having certain negative thought patterns that I learned through therapy, like how to manage. And along with that, I really had to like pray a lot. Like I leaned so much into my faith during the course of this program. Honestly, I give God all the praise, all the glory, all the praise and all the glory, because there's just so many times I just felt like I couldn't do it. There were times where I would get scared because like I had a situation in my undergraduate years ago where I didn't do well, and I was at risk of like not attending my alma mater anymore, and I really had to like work hard to get myself back in good standing and graduate. But like just the taint of that, like I don't know, that really impacted like my self-esteem in certain ways. And so it was like certain moments where I would be feeling overwhelmed in school, it would kind of like trigger those emotions again. And like through therapy and also like through my faith, I had to realize like, one, what happened in my undergrad, like that was undergraduate, that was years ago, and I overcame that. I walk across the stage, I'm a University of Florida graduate, like that was accomplished, and God got me through that, and he can get me through this again. And so I had to lean really heavily into my faith. I had to, you know, really show up for myself. Like, yeah, I want God to show up for me, but I gotta show up for myself too and push through. And there were moments where it's like, you know, I did my part and really God did the rest. There was times where I'm like, okay, I think, you know, in this course I did good enough, like, you know, I'll get like a B. I was like doing my point calculations, and somehow I end up getting an A in the class, and I'm just like, God, you are really like blessing me right now. I'm so appreciative, because I did not think that was going to happen. All the praise, all the glory be unto God who got me through this program, because I promise you there were times where I did not feel like I would make it. I did not feel like I would make it. Yeah, so throughout this, like each term I was like really stressed in, and then but I would make it each and every time, praise be to God. And then now so my friends and I, we were planning like a girls trip for the end of this year, and because of like the time frame, if I only took one class, I think like the week off that I would have had, I would have been in Spain. So we were planning a trip to Spain, and so the week off that I would have had before like the next term start, I would have been on vacation, and then I'll be returning like the day before like the new term starts essentially. And so we were planning for that. So if I would have just taken one class, that's what the situations would have been, and then I would have finished my classes on November 22nd. But I was like, you know what, I really want this Spain trip to be like a big celebration. Oh, hold on 1 second. So yeah, as I was saying, so I really wanted this Spain trip to really be like a celebration of my completion of the program. I felt like, what better, I don't know why my camera keeps turning off. So along with that risk was gonna be a great reward. I'll actually be done with my program. I don't have to worry about any homework assignments while I'm in Spain on vacation. And yeah, so I went for it, and I'm so happy that, I mean, it was a lot of work. Like I would say this was like my most challenging term. Not as far as like the work being hard, that is, it was actually very interesting courses, but it was just, again, like the workload on top of working my full-time job, working my part-time job. I actually decided to take like a social media break during that time as well, because I just knew like my mind wasn't really gonna be like in a creative space during these 2 courses at once. Like I needed my mind to, you know, have a moment to like really focus in on that left part of my brain. I think it's the left part that's like very analytical and stuff like that. Like I just wanted to preserve my energy. And so yeah, I took a social media break. I'm just getting back into social media by the time you're seeing this video. But yeah, so I committed, and fortunately I passed my class, one with an A, one with a B. So that was lit. So, you know, we get in the interim, right? So while I'm like going through my classes and working and stuff like that, like I'm preparing for this trip, you know, shopping, just planning out everything. And literally the week before classes end and our trip was gonna come up, life fucking happened. Well, one of my friends, one of her family members got ill, and she wanted to be there to support them, which, you know, we totally understood. And we're like, okay, girl, you know, do your thing. Like, we totally understand. Shit, if it was us, like, it would be no questions asked. Like, we would be doing the same thing. Us as in, like, my sister and I. So it's like, we totally understand. Like, do what you need to do. So that was like maybe just before a week before our trip. And we were gonna still try to make the most of it and go. But then another one of our peoples, like one of my sister's peoples, lost another family. They lost a family member in a very like, you know, sad way and stuff like that. And so she needed to be able to stay back and support them. So that really just ended the trip, ended all hope for the trip. And that shit really affected me. Like it affected me. Like I got it. Like, one, it's nobody's fault. Like, this is life. Like you know, sickness, death, like stuff like that happens. Fortunately, we had insurance, so you know, we can like recoup some of the money that we lost. And then also we also had like, we were still like in that window to be able to cancel some of the things that we had planned and get our money back. So that was like good too. But I was really kind of sad about it. One, because it was gonna be my first time going to Europe, and I really pushed myself and worked really hard so that I could reward myself with that trip. And so for it to be canceled was just like it was just such a bummer. And I was like really mourning it, but I didn't even have a chance to like really get into like the full swing of like mourning, because I was like in the midst of my program. I'm like, I gotta finish strong. I got like a lot of fucking work to do. So, you know, so that happened. But fortunately, you know, I like day by day just started getting better. And like by the week of, which is this week actually, like I accepted it. Like right now I'm supposed to be, I think this was the day we were gonna go like hot air ballooning or something like that. Like, so eventually, you know, I kind of accepted it, and I just decided to like make the best of it. And so like my sister and I, like we did like a spa day, and that was pretty nice. And today I'm actually getting ready for brunch. My family is taking me to Nikki Beach, which I'm super excited about. I actually had plans with them like years ago to go to Nikki Beach, but then actually that was like early in 2020, and then the, you know, COVID hit, and my dad was like, hell no, cancel that shit. We ain't going there buffet style eating, hell no. So now we get to go, so I'm super excited. I hope the weather holds up. But yeah, and I was like debating whether or not I was gonna take time off of work, because I already had the time off for the trip. And I was considering maybe I should just save my time. I was like, you know what, no, like I'm going to take this time off. I'm going to unplug, reset, and I'm just gonna really allow myself to, you know, just bask in the fruits of my labor. So I have different things planned for like the next week and a half that I have off. This blush looks really, this looks like really much. What time is it? 10:37. Okay, good. I still have good time. We have to leave like around, what time we got to leave around 11 to get to brunch on time at 12. So yeah, but yeah, that was like really disappointing. Have any of you guys been to Spain? You know, we were just like, well, you know, life happens and stuff like that, and so we're going to plan for another time, and I pray that we're probably able to do even bigger and better than what we even had planned this go around for Spain. Yeah, so that is pretty much it, like with my makeup. So I'm gonna go off camera and finish up my hair, finish getting ready, get dressed. You can see my fit, and then I'm gonna take you guys with me to my celebration brunch. Thank you guys so much for like listening to at least this part of the video, my lessons learned, and just kind of whatever additional thoughts that I was just kind of rambling on. Hopefully you guys found some value in that. And yeah, girl, so now it's time to finish getting ready. I'll see you in a little bit. This is the rest of my look. So it's a dress. You'll see the full dress like at the venue. And then this is like a little purse from Forever 21 with some sandals. So super chill, cute. I need to go grab my shades actually, and we're about to head out. So I'll see you guys there. I definitely didn't show y'all my look with my lips done. So here's my lips done. Okay, now back to what we're gonna do. You got your degree.